So this is the part where I think it's going to be very, very useful to a number of people. Now, a lot of people just go ahead and hit copy and they're done. But this is one of those areas that this can be very, very useful to you. So let's take, for example, what it's asking you is you can decide what you want to transfer. Now, let's go to apps. These are all the apps on my old phone that I'm bringing to your new phone. Now, you may have some apps. You may go through, you be like, you know what? I don't use it. Like, for example, Airbnb. I may say, okay, I don't use that anymore. I don't care about this app being over here because I don't use it that much. Let's see, I do use Prime. There are a number of apps where you may look at and say, you know what? When was the last time I did use it? Oh, you know what? I don't use it. Um, and just go through each one of them and see what you may. Again, you may just want your phone to be exactly the same, so you may decide to leave it alone. But this is where you can, save yourself some time. If there's a bunch of apps that you're not using, you know, don't worry about installing and then taking up time that you don't need or wasting, resources on your phone that you don't need to take up. Even though a lot of these newer phones now have a lot more storage space than the older phones, it just if you don't need it, what's the deal of installing it for no reason? Now you also can do this. You hit click to just say don't install any of those apps, or obviously to if you made a mistake and you're like, you know what, I changed my mind, go ahead and reinstall all of it. You can do that. But let me go back through here because there were some things that I did not want it or care to transfer. Now these are the apps that gets installed what they say automatically. Now, and basically what it is Google letting you know that they're going to install this on your phone, and it's considered what they consider stock apps or Google stock apps that you cannot uninstall. Or let's put it this way, you cannot uninstall if you're using a Google phone. Now, Google Play services. Now, there is a way that you can actually set your phone up where you can use pretty much none of Google apps. Now, for those that care about that, I'll link you to it but it's a lot more work. But for right now, just consider these apps standard. They're gonna come installed on your phone. So once we're done with that, I'm gonna hit OK here. You can do the same thing with photos and videos. You can choose the photos and videos you want to transfer over. And I might go ahead and say no to that. And SMS and MMS, like I said, I'm not using it for that. So I'm particularly not going to use that. But this is where you can go through there and you can actually look at some of it. You can just decide what you want to transfer. Same thing with call history. Like I said, for me, a lot of the stuff that's going to be transferred to this phone in particular is not going to be important because I have my Pixel 4, which is being used to film all this. Here's my Pixel 6. This is a Pixel 3 XL. And I have a Galaxy Fold 2. So my point is that this phone right here is mainly going to be just used as a glorified camera. So I want to be as light as possible. So I'm going to go ahead and say we're done. Copy. And now I'm going to go through the process of copying your data. Go through one last thing. And basically, these are all just letting you know, all the legal fine print stuff that they want you to agree to. And then now, once you get to this part, you would set up your PIN and your fingerprint. For setting up your fingerprint, it's going to be totally different on this phone than it is this one. And the only main difference is going to be is that the fingerprint sensor on this older phone is on the back, where this one, and I'll show you in a second. Let me go ahead and finish. Okay, since we're done, I can go ahead and unplug this. Where the fingerprint sensor, as you saw here, is actually on the glass itself. So, go ahead and hit agree. Now, as you see right here, I'll have to touch the sensor here to set it up. So I guess this tutorial will actually, I guess I can brand this as a setup of pretty much all Pixel phones because it's going to be something that will transfer for multiple phones. But let's go ahead and get this set up. And basically what they want you to do, they want you to change a different angle that you move your finger so that it can get a different part of your fingerprint and it makes it for when you go to unlock your phone, because sometimes, depending on how you got your phone in hand, it can still recognize your fingerprint. Now, I posed it or said in another video or a previous video that the fingerprint scanner on this phone is actually much better than this one. But again, this is mainly meant for a tutorial. Now, the Hey Google match or voice match, basically what they're saying with this is if you already have it set up, which I already do on another phone, they're basically saying that, okay, you know, it allows them, or you're giving them the permission to take that same file that they have for your voice match profile, and move it to this phone. And since I already have it set up on here, I'm gonna go ahead and say I agree. Now, if you're someone who do not like this service for whatever reason, you don't like, and there's some people who do not like the idea that, these phones can record their voice or record what they're saying. You can just turn that off altogether. And I will walk you through how to do this. Now, this part, squeeze to assist, this is mainly going to be meant for a Pixel 3, 3XL, I believe, has it. Well, 3XL I know have it. The 4XL have it, and I know the Pixel 4 has it as well. So this part is only going to be for this. It's not going to be for the Pixel 6. That feature did not make its way over. So I'm going to go ahead and say next. Or I'm going to do it later. It's not important. And I'm going to continue going through the process. Now, if you have Google Pay, it'll go ahead and go through the process of setting that up. But for right now, I do not want to use Google Pay on this particular phone, so I'm going to say skip. Always on display. I'm going to turn it on. I like using it. And again, this feature is going to be the same as the one on here. And this is going to ask you the anywhere else thing. If you have a work email, like I said, if you use like Outlook or whatever, this would be a good time when you can say add another email account, and you can choose like your exchange, and you can put your company exchange email. If they use Outlook or whatever, you can do that there. Also, if you looking at this, you say, man, this font is not working for me. It's too small. Right out the gate, you can hit right here, change font size, and you can adjust that up and down right here. So if you want to make it a little bit bigger, see how that looks. Boom. Out of the gate. So just for now, I'm going to make this a little bit bigger since I am doing this on the screen or on my phone. So I'll make this a little bit bigger just for this. All right. Once you're done, and then we go back to that. Once you're done, you see that back arrow, hit that back arrow and it takes you back. All right, control info that's on your lock screen. What that means is I can decide how you want your notifications to show up. Now, for some people, and this is going to be more one of those things where I guess it depends on where your environment is. Like if you work from home, a lot of times you're like, go ahead and show everything. I'm the only one seeing your phone. Now, if you work in an office environment around other people, you may say, look, you know what, this show just what's, basic stuff like this email came from whoever and that's it. Don't go ahead and blast out that email or blast out that text because, I don't want that information where someone could just look at my phone and see that information. So it depends on your environment or how you feel about that. Or you can just say don't show notification at all because I don't want that showing on my lock screen. Again, I want my lock screen to be clean. So in particular for this right now, I'm going to go ahead and do the middle ground because a lot of times I end up doing that anyway. So once we're done with there, let's go back. Now, identify the music around you. I actually like this feature. Now, what is this feature for someone who is new to this? Have you ever been to the gym or grocery store or any place, you hear a song, you're like, man, this song, okay, sound good. I wonder what that song is. Well, when you turn it on, Google's listening to that. And basically, it'll put in the background or right on the bottom what the name of that song and who the author is, and you can click on it, and it'll literally send you to the Google page about that person, what that album from, and you can go back later, especially if the song like, that song sounds good. You know what? I wanna go back to that and get that album. Boom, that's what it is. So that's what Identify Music is. It's a very awesome feature that came. I want to say it came back on the Pixel. I want to say it was on the Pixel 2, was when the first time it came out. Someone can correct me on that in the comment section. All right, we're done with that. And here you can review additional apps. So let's take a look at that. Now, this may be, and I could be wrong because again, I have not had a carrier app, but this is where you can uncheck or check what you want installed. Now, I just got done saying that I do not want Google Pay on here. So this would be a good time to say, hey, you know what? I don't want that on my phone. Duo, if you don't want that, and what is Duo? So Duo is I'm gonna go ahead and say a poor attempt, or let's not do that. It is Google's attempt to do what is like FaceTime. Some would say it's okay, and some say it doesn't work. Now, I'm not gonna be too hard on it because when I sent my grandmother a Pixel phone, one of the beautiful things about this is I can like use that to, and I actually did that. I made video tutorials and I sent it to her to Duo, and she could just check that out at any time. So Duo actually have some benefits where it's actually good. I'm not gonna call it, horrific, but some people do not like it. Anyway, for those coming in, think of this as a Google version of FaceTime. If anyone that have a Google phone can use that. So let's go ahead and uncheck that. Let's hit OK. Now, once you're done, you go ahead and hit done for now, and it'll go through the setup process. Now, if you're new here or new to Android, you may want email info about new tricks and all this information. Me personally, look, I really don't want to be bugged by stupid emails and texts. So most of the time I say no thanks. Appreciate you, but no thanks. Last thing, we went through all your apps. Basically what this is going through is as a final check to show what you did. We went through all your apps. We went through your music audio. We went through your device settings. And if you're done with that, you're good with that, let's go ahead and hit done. If not, hit the back button, go back, and go back through this again. So, but I'm okay with it, so let's go ahead and continue on. So I say no thanks again, and we're done. Or done. Now, at this part, this is going to be where your phone is pretty much going to take all that information and it's going to start downloading all your apps in the background. And this would be a good time where you can plug your phone in and let it charge. As you see, if you've done this correctly, you're not gonna say correctly, but if you've done this this way, the same basic setup that you have on this phone, your screen display, it basically transferred everything over there. So basically, your phone is gonna feel like it's the same phone that you always had. You're not gonna have to go through there and redo certain settings like my alarm clock. You see, my alarm clock is showing, transfer. Matter of fact, I need to actually dismiss that alarm. So, but it's going to basically transfer all the data that you wanted over. Now, had I said I wanted these apps, it would have transferred it to make this screen look exactly like that. But a lot of the apps I have on there, like my finance app, my clock in app, and all this other stuff, but because I'm using this mainly as a glorified camera, I don't care to have that on there. So it's not going to set that up or put that up there. Now, as you see, I have on this page, I have this nice little beautiful widget by YouTube Music. It tries to do that, and it will do that. We'll see how that looks after it finished downloading everything and setting up. It might be the same, or it might be asking me to log in. But let's see. Let's find out. Okay, that's what it is. YouTube Music haven't installed yet. So let's allow all this to finish installing and see what happens. And it looks like it's actually almost done installing. Boom. Okay, there it is. It's installed. Where's my widget? Let's do this. Let's go back to Google Play Music. Or Google Play. See where we at. And matter of fact, that's a good thing. That's a good part of this tutorial. So right now at this part, your phone's installing a bunch of apps. Now, if you want to see what's actually being installed, you can hit Google Play, hit your icon at the top, go to My Apps and Games, and you can see what's installing. Now, why is this important? There may be some things that you see installing that you like, you know what, I don't want that to be installed. Now, some of the stuff, I mean, there's, Google's apps, you can stop it from updating, but it's going to want to install that. But let me go down through here. Let's just say, now I actually had to do this with a Samsung phone. I saw that they were trying to install some Samsung apps in the background that I did not want them to install. So that's when I was hitting X because I didn't want to install it. And I think what ended up happening anyway, they still had their stock apps that was there, and I had to disable it. That's with this phone. So that's the deal there. Now, another thing I do like to do with this phone when I first installed it, you got all the noise because it's gonna be pinging for a while until it finishes its update. So I'll go ahead and hit the volume down button, and I'll go ahead and turn that notification on. Let me try that again. And I'll go ahead and just turn that notification off because I do not want to be hearing pinging every 5 minutes while it's installing stuff and notifications are trying to go through. I don't feel like hearing that. Now, for some people, they're like, okay, I don't want to forget to turn that back on, but I think you won't have to worry about that because your alarm clock is still going to go through its process. And let's say, for example, you set this up for work, and this is like, for me, I use my alarm clock for two reasons. Well, one, obviously, to wake up in the morning, and two, matter of fact, reminds me of something I need to do in a minute. But two, to remind me to clock in. So at 5 o'clock, it's supposed to remind me, hey, I need to clock in, because obviously, if you've been to work, if you're at one of the places where even though you come in early, they don't want you to clock in too early because, they only want to pay you for the time you're supposed to be in. So you get in just a little bit early because, again, at least where I grew up, it's like if you want time, you're late. So that's the mindset I've always taught. So I've always tried to put in my schedule to be in 15, 20 minutes earlier, just in case something happens, whether it be accident, tire breakdown, something, I'm still able to be at work on time. So you get in early, you're running your mouth with your buddy, you're talking about the game, all this stuff is going on. Next thing you know, the shift meeting happening, you getting in, and 45 minutes go through, an hour, you just realize, I forgot to clock in. Okay, now it looks like you're late. So for me, this little alarm clock just literally tells me, hey, you need to clock in right now. And no matter whether I have the thing on mute, silent, that alarm clock is going off. And that's where it comes in handy. So again, my phone is going to continue to set up. I want to see if it installs my YouTube music widget, which I don't think it's going to. Let's go into YouTube music real quick. It might be wanting me to sign in, so let me sign in real quick. All right, I'm signed in. Let's see if it adds it now. And it didn't. So that's fine. So that widget, if you're curious what that is, and let's see if it's on the older phones as well. It's YouTube music widget, and it's this one. So you click, hold it. And this is my workout, or let's go back here again. Okay, what's going on with that? Is it updating? Let me see. It might be updating. That may be why it's not allowing me to open it. Hope it's not force closing. Mm-mm. All right, well, on camera, you're going to see what I would do in this particular situation. So if you have a situation where You're trying to back out. It look like the app is not responding. A lot of times what I would do is this. Swipe up. And it could be that Google Play is updating its services. It is likely that is the case what's going on. So let's give it a second to update all of its services. Let's see if that solves it. Go back to Google Play Google Play. Or it could be broke right now. I might have to do a reset. So we'll see. So in this particular case, for me, it's not doing what I wanted to do. It's not coming up. So let's try doing a reset. So I'm hit reset or restart. Let's see if restart my phone fixes this. If it does, I'm definitely, well, no matter what, I'm going to leave this part into the video because someone may be going through the same process. So let's see what happens. And my phone could not be responding at all too. So let's see what's going on. All right, there it is. It's unlocked. Let's see if that solved the problem. So reset my phone. Let's go into Google Play Store. There it is. Don't know what happened, but hopefully that solved it. All right. Let's go to my widget again. Open. Click on this. Actually, I think I had to click on the song. So I'm gonna click a song. I'll have to mute out the song out of the video because, copyrights. All right. See what happens. Remove that widget. Let's try it again. Widget. YouTube Play. Okay. I don't know why it's not allowing this one to have it. Let's try another one. All right. I don't know what it was. It worked on that time then. All right, cool. So that would be how you would set that widget up if you wanted. Anyway, this is going to conclude the initial setup part of this video. The next part of my video, I'm going to go through features